We are on Pothole Patrol tonight, and what we found out could really make you angry. We've learned that the city is not telling the whole truth about fixing the potholes plaguing our streets.
The KHOU 11 News I-team poured through records and found the city gave a misleading image of what is actually being done. Investigative reporter Jeremy Rogowski is live in the Montrose area to show us what he's uncovered tonight. Jeremy?
Well, Greg, Lisa, check out this whopper of a pothole right down here. It's about 3 feet wide, 4 inches deep. Certainly a busted hubcap or worse, just waiting to happen. But here's the thing. The city had many open complaints about this hole and many others around town that it closed without doing any repairs.
These potholes are just ridiculous.
Complain about a pothole.
Bump, bump. Something's jiggling and jaggling, and it tears up the car.
And the city of Houston gives itself 10 days to close that complaint. Sounds simple enough.
They're lying.
But that is where the rubber
They're lying.
really meets the road. You see, all of the potholes you're watching in this story, the city's considered closed.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's a lot.
Take this monster in the Montrose area.
Is that closed?
That's closed.
No.
Or this one in the Heights.
Closed means it's been fixed, and it's not fixed.
Instead of fixed is the fix in. On paper, the city looks like it's doing an A-plus job, with a whopping 99% of pothole complaints closed and completed within the city's 10-day deadline. But the I-team found hundreds of those closed out when no repair work was done.
That's a bogus status.
City Council member C.O. Bradford.
That's a misrepresentation. That's wrong. That's deceitful. That's misleading.
So is there any explanation?
We understand it was confusing.
Frank Carmody runs the city's 311 line, where complaints come in.
Was it misleading?
We understand it was confusing.
You don't call it misleading.
I call it confusing.
And when we tried to sort that confusion out,
Shouldn't closed mean filled? Isn't it that simple?
Remember, it means something different to us.
something quite different. Turns out closed to the city hasn't always meant filling the hole, but rather investigating to make sure it's a hole. Yep, it's a hole.
It's getting bigger and bigger.
The actual repairs come later, or on Suresh Kumar Street, much later.
It's been sitting here for almost 2 years.
2 years?
Yes, yes.
Stuck in the closed conundrum.
We have to pay for it to fix it.
With Houston drivers paying the price.
Fix the roads. We're not living in a third world country.
Do you understand the frustration?
I do.
So from now on, the city says it's changing its ways. Eric Dargan is a deputy director at Public Works.
We've now identified that was the wrong way of doing it, and there's a better way, more open way of doing it.
And that means calling it like it really is.
Our service requests that are called in by the public should not be closed until the work is actually complete.
Filled.
Filled.
Fixed.
Fits.
Done.
Done.
Case closed.
All the above.
Well, we're keeping them honest, but we also need your help too. You are the eyes and ears of our pothole patrol. So tomorrow morning on your way to work or the office, grab those smartphones, take a photo or two, or even better yet, some video of the potholes, and then send us what you got. How? By clicking on to Pothole Patrol on KHOU.com. It'll take you to this form, and then we'll take the info straight to City Hall. This right here is our Pothole Challenge pylon. Learn which city leaders have signed on tomorrow night on 11 News at 10. Live in Montrose, Jeremy Rogowski, KHOU 11 News.
The KHOU 11 News I-team exposed how the city of Houston was closing your pothole complaints when they weren't even fixed.
Now, investigative reporter Jeremy Rogowski has signed up a team of city leaders who've all taken a pledge to see that work through. Jeremy's live in Spring Branch tonight to fill us in. Jeremy?
Yeah, that's right, Lisa. You can see there's plenty of work to be done here on Antoine Drive. A viewer just like you told us about this tire eater, and we are taking that complaint and many others straight to City Hall. Open a pothole complaint with the city of Houston, and you'd probably think this is how it should be closed.
Closed should mean that we've taken care of it and it's done.
But that's not how the Public Works Department has been doing business. The I-team found hundreds of street repair complaints the city closed, still looking like this. and some council members are steamed.
Very often we can't tell what's been done.
It sends a horrible message to the taxpayer.
So the I-team is putting those city leaders up to a challenge.
Dave Martin, District E.
I'm Brenda Stardig, District A.
Councilmember Kubash, and I'm taking the Pothole Challenge.
They're signing our pothole pylon.
Here's a marker. I got a marker right here.
And taking a pledge.
I'm taking on the challenge to fix potholes in our city.
Particularly those the city is already closed on paper, but no work was ever done. And you are at the front end of our pothole patrol. Send us your photos, or better yet, videos of your least favorite potholes. We'll send them along to your elected officials.
I'm definitely taking the Pothole Challenge on.
And keep tabs on when the work is actually done.
I am taking the Pothole Challenge.
All 16 members of the Houston City Council are on board.
We'll be in touch.
Ready to hold the City Public Works Department accountable.
I understand the frustration.
For potholes, Eric Dargan is the man in charge.
Council is going to be bothering you.
Okay? I'm okay with that. That's my job.
You welcome your side of the challenge.
I'll welcome it. Yes, sir.
But the challenge is big time, to be sure. Some perspective. Any pothole that's larger than a pizza box like this is going to require a hot asphalt skin patch repair. But there's a backlog, a big time backlog. Just how big? 3,822 skin patches yet to be fixed. Now here's where to send us those photos and videos. Go to KHOU.com and on the left side click on Pothole Patrol. It'll take you to this form and we will take it from there. We'll be reporting back on hopefully when this number goes down. We're live in Northwest Houston. Jeremy Rogalski, KHOU 11 News.
Thousands of you are tapping into our Pothole Patrol, and tonight we've dug up some new details about why it takes so long to fix our streets. Our investigative reporter Jeremy Rogalski found the city often does such a poor repair job on potholes, it has to go back again and again. At this auto body shop in Northwest Houston, they know if you don't fix it right the first time,
I have to redo it out of my own pocket.
and on this one block of Chatterton Drive,
Whose pocket are we talking about in this case?
Taxpayers, all of us.
you see one of the city's one-man pothole patcher trucks has filled and then refilled potholes time and time again.
That's a Band-Aid approach. It just doesn't last long. I think it's a waste of money. I just always thought it was a silly contraption that they were using.
But the city uses its pothole patcher for the vast majority of potholes. And with that comes a lot of repeat repairs. The I-team checked the records, and nearly one of every 4 patch jobs, the city comes back a second time or more. Like here, the 5600 block of Campbell Road.
Man, that's incredible.
We showed Tim Smar the records. 107 city pothole patch jobs, 10 different trips to the same address in just 18 months' time. His message to the Houston Department of Public Works:
Don't put a Band-Aid on it. It ain't gonna work.
but the Band-Aids are even more prevalent near the big airport. On JFK Boulevard, just south of Beltway 8, the city's made 7 trips in a year's time to fill or refill a whopping 198 potholes. It's not just a nuisance, but a real danger, too.
We got a truck on the back coming down this road, almost fell off because all these bumps. We need to fix it.
But again, how they fix it is what's key. Even the Public Works Department concedes.
Are you doing it right the first time always?
Not always.
Deputy Director Eric Dargan says it all comes down to the numbers. The pothole patch truck costs about $40 a hole, but a larger job needing a hot asphalt skin patch can run $400 to $500, and street cutting skin patches can top $1,000.
I'm not allowed the opportunity to do it right based on budgetary constraints. However, we do the best job we can with the resources we have available.
Now we've asked you to show us the potholes you're sick of hitting, and we've got an eyeful. Scores of complaints that are now in the hands of Houston City Council members who've all taken a pledge to get them filled and filled right. Jeremy Rogalski, KHOU 11 News.
The KHOU 11 News Pothole Patrol is tracking $10 million of your tax dollars.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's how much the city of Houston added to its pothole budget last year.
But the KHOU 11 News I-team has discovered so far almost nothing has been done. Our Jeremy Rogalski is live in Midtown to show us what he's found. Jeremy?
Well, the grand plan of the city was to bring in reinforcements and outside contractor to help tackle that pothole repair backlog. But 7 months later, the results, some say, are a joke.
On Antoine Drive, they're counting the casualties
Volkswagen Toyota
of government inaction, rattled by this road hazard for months.
Oh, it shakes the whole dang house and the windows.
The only sign the city's even made the scene, a construction barrel that's now blown over.
It should be fixed.
Does it make you mad?
You bet. I pay so much taxes.
Moving to a vote.
Last June, Houston City Council approved an extra $10 million of your taxes for pothole repairs. But it took 5 months just to get a contract signed. And since it's been signed, how many potholes has that contractor fixed? A grand total of 3.
Unconscionable. Something is wrong with the system.
Some city council members were stunned by the news.
Yeah, that's a sad. That has to be dealt with.
And when we talked with the Department of Public Works,
Is that where you want to be?
No, sir, not at all.
at first, Public Works blamed the weather, saying the contractor cannot perform work when there is rain or temperatures below 50 degrees. Both December and January have been challenging due to these weather conditions.
So no rain here, no rain here.
But not so fast. We checked with our own David Paul, and conservatively, he counted at least 15 weekdays with ideal conditions.
Temperatures in average were above 50 degrees. You had no rain, so there's 2 weeks where stuff could have gotten done.
What was this contractor doing all this time?
I don't have the answer to that.
Are you going to find out?
Yes, sir, most definitely.
It's time lost in the challenge to fix our streets. Ample time for more damage.
Someone going to get killed. If a motorcycle hits that hole, it's over.
Well, the contractor in question, Times Construction, is telling a different story to us tonight, claiming after the contract was signed, the company had to wait and wait, more than a month, in fact, before the first work order from the city came in. Stuck in the middle of all this red tape, of course, is you, your car, and the road. Live near downtown, Jeremy Rogalski, KHOU 11 News.
Live, KHOU 11 News starts now.
Tonight, the mayor of Houston promises to tackle our pothole problem we've been talking about, calling a backlog to fix the potholes a crisis.
The KHOU 11 News Pothole Patrol is getting more results for you tonight.
The I-Team's Jeremy Rogowski joins us live near downtown with more on the mayor's pledge. Jeremy?
Well, the rush hour ride home is more like skiing moguls behind me here on Memorial Drive, and records show open job orders dating back more than a year. Well, in her pledge to get rid of the backlog once and for all, Mayor Parker did acknowledge some recent bumps in the road.
Mayor Parker not only took ownership of the city's pothole backlog today,
This is my issue. We're going to deal with it.
she gave herself a deadline.
I intend to have this fixed while I'm in office.
At issue are more than 3,000 larger than a pizza-sized holes that flatten tires,
Dangerous and horrible.
and fray the nerves of fed-up drivers.
It bugs us as people, as taxpayers, and as neighbors, because I live here too.
Moving to a vote.
The mayor conceded the city has moved slowly since last June in taking a $10 million pothole budget increase to the streets. It took 5 to 7 months just to sign up outside contractors to do large asphalt patch and street repaving projects. To date, only a handful of jobs have been done.
We didn't do it fast enough. Period. End of sentence.
Parker called the backlog a crisis situation, but one she says the city will overcome.
We have a full all-hands-on-deck emergency plan in place. I am confident that today we have the resources identified and we have the ability to get ahead of this issue.
So what exactly does all hands on deck mean? Well, we got hold of this internal city memo which spells it out. The City Department of Public Works will be adding a full extra asphalt crew, and some pothole crews will be working 6 days a week. The goal, to get rid of all open work orders by the end of June. Reporting live downtown, Jeremy Rogalski, KHOU 11 News.
Don't forget to tell us about potholes in your neighborhood. Keep sending us your pictures. Go to our website, click on Pothole Patrol.
We're happy to say we keep getting results from our Pothole Patrol. This time the city is finally fixing a dose of double trouble in the Spring Branch area. A couple of craters located on Antoine. And that's where our Jeremy Rogowski joins us live. Jeremy?
Well, Greg, last week we were right here telling you how the city had more than 3,800 larger than pizza-sized potholes yet to be filled. Well, as of today, that number's dropped to around 3,600. And folks here say it's been a long time coming.
The wheels of city government are beginning to turn here on Antoine Drive. Finally, homeowners say.
It's about time the city got on their, off their, you know what, started doing something.
2 monster potholes a half a block apart have rattled drivers and wreaked havoc on their cars for months.
Since October last year, we've been bugging them and nothing happened.
The I-Team's been bugging the city too.
See how loose it is?
On behalf of Hans Nageli and the rest of the folks on Antoine Drive, who soon can call this pothole patrol case closed.
Awesome. Man, you do good work.
Well, this job here, we're told, will take about a week or so to complete. And Hans Nageli also wants to thank District A City Council member Brenda Stardick. That's her signature right here. She and 15 other every single Houston City Council member have all signed our Pothole Challenge pylon to get our city streets fixed. More fixes to come. Live in Northwest Houston, Jeremy Rogalski, KHOU 11 News.
The KHOU 11 Pothole Patrol is making sure city leaders are keeping their promise to fix the streets. Jeremy Rogalski live tonight tracking the state of repairs. Jeremy?
Well, topping the list of the neighborhoods with the most pothole patch jobs is right here in the Montrose area, one of the oldest neighborhoods in town, and red hot for pothole repairs.
On Westheimer in the heart of Montrose,
I used to hear loud noises. Boom!
the noise of cars bottoming out is no more.
This is wonderful to see.
The city's worked up this pothole hotspot map. The red areas mean the most patch jobs to do. And turns out the Montrose area tops all neighborhoods in town. Another area with a lot of open work orders off Alameda Road near the medical center. And farther to the southeast, this area between Cullen and MLK Boulevard, south of the 610 loop.
Why do you have so many work orders in these spots?
Those are the areas that's been around for a long time, and those streets have not been given the attention that they should have been given in the past.
But now the city's hired on 10 private contractors to help out city crews. Together, they filled some 2,600 potholes since February 1st.
2,600.
Wow.
Potholes.
Wow.
Business owners like Abbas Hussein say that's something to make some noise about.
So you're doing a good job. I hope you keep this up.
Well, there's still quite a ways to go. The city's pothole backlog still hovering at about 3,000 jobs. It's estimated it will take at least 6 months to zero that number out. We're live in Montrose. Jeremy Rogalski, KHOU 11 News.
Hey, we have some good news for your drive into work. Fewer short-term pothole patches and more long-term street repairs are on the way for Houston. Jeremy Rogalski is back on Pothole Patrol this morning, live in the Montrose area. Hey there, Jeremy.
Good morning, Lily. That's right. The city's pumping in an extra $5.5 million into its pothole repair budget, and that will mean fewer Band-Aid fixes for craters like this one and more permanent solutions.
As city crews steamroll a fresh patch of asphalt on MLK Boulevard,
potholes are very dangerous.
John Melvin shines up his wheels just down the street, looking forward to a smoother ride.
I think life will be easier down on this end.
Since we launched the KHOU 11 Pothole Patrol back in February, the city's now filled 5,400 larger than pizza-sized potholes.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Absolutely. Take care.
And now the city is pouring in more resources, $5.6 million, in fact, to replace concrete panels like this one.
Those pieces that we put in of that new concrete street can normally last as long, if not longer, than the original street.
This is not a Band-Aid.
This is a long-term fix.
Okay, well, that's where that's where all of them should be done, you know?
The extra money, the city says, should pay for some 500 of those long-term concrete fixes. But that will mean some traffic delays while the work is underway.
Sometimes you got to be inconvenienced to get what you want to be convenient.
Progress has its price.
Now, in the meantime, if you hit one of these craters, the city of Houston essentially says by law, it's your problem. It's not going to pay. But tonight on 11 News at 10, we're going to show you some cities where they will make you whole if you hit a hole. Live in the Montrose area, Jeremy Rogowski, KHOU 11 News.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. He's a hero to many.
He is.
He's getting
Jeremy
stuff
Rogowski's
done
a
for
hero.
sure.
He's a hero.
Yeah.
Hey, guess what?
Hitting a pothole can leave you in the hole with hefty repair bills for new tires and rims and a whole lot more. And while the city of Houston, by law, is not on the hook for your damages, the I-Team's Jeremy Rogowski found other cities that do pay.
Hit a hole like this, and Houston says it's your problem. But we found some cities that don't see it that way.
In his souped-up Dodge Charger, Mark East feels kind of silly riding around on this teeny-tiny spare.
I feel embarrassed every day when I go to work and come home.
Embarrassed because he doesn't immediately have the $400 to fix his tire and rim that got busted up on a Houston pothole.
All of a sudden I just hear, bam!
But with that bam came a double whammy. Under Texas state law, city governments are not liable for the damage.
It's not fair. I didn't cause that. Your roads caused it.
They immediately blew out.
And he's far from alone. Marie Golden hit a pothole near Hobby Airport. The pothole won.
Tore both tires to shreds.
And so did the city of Houston, because again, it's shielded against damage claims by law.
About $600 between the tows, the repairs, the tires.
Money out of her own pocket.
It's frustrating. You know, we pay money to the city to maintain the roads, and it should be held accountable.
But turns out some other cities do hold themselves accountable, making drivers whole when they hit a hole.
Take Boston, which paid out $54,000 in pothole damage repairs last year alone. Cincinnati also has a pothole reimbursement policy. It shelled out $69,000 in 2014. And Seattle last year paid $124,000 in damage claims. All of those cities require that they previously knew about a pothole and didn't fix it in a reasonable amount of time, anywhere from a few days to a couple of weeks. But the only recourse Houston has to offer...
Don't wait until you damaged your car to report it. Report it as soon as you see it. Maybe we'll get to it and repair it before your car gets damaged.
And again, maybe the city won't get to it in time.
They don't have accountability here because they don't think they have to have accountability. You know, it's like they don't care about the little man.
There is one exception to Texas law. A pothole patch truck or other piece of equipment would actually have to hit your car and be at fault in order to pay a claim. And that's pretty rare. Jeremy Rogowski, KHOU 11 News.
The KHOU 11 News Pothole Patrol is approaching a milestone.
Nearly 2,000 potholes have been filled since we challenged the city about 3 weeks ago.
The KHOU 11 News I-Team's Jeremy Rogowski kicked off our campaign. He joins us now with more from Northwest Houston. Jeremy?
Well, Houston drivers are sure taking notice. One of them, in fact, actually wrote a letter to the city, complete with this ribbon of excellence to say thanks for all the pothole filling work it's done.
The prepping and patching continues full steam ahead by city pothole crews.
It's about time.
Most motorists welcome the cone zones, knowing a smoother ride's ahead.
I'm so glad to see them here.
The city of Houston, they doing a good job, so they need to keep up the good work.
Others are still somewhat skeptical.
They fix them a little bit, and then next minute you have another hole.
It is a game of catch-up in what the city calls a crisis situation. Since we launched our Pothole Patrol campaign, the Public Works Department says it's filled more than 1,900 potholes citywide. But it's also received some 1,200 new pothole complaints from the public.
We've taken approximately a 50% spike in calls coming in, which is causing us a lot more work.
Work, the city says, it welcomes.
We're gearing up and we're letting people know that we're out here to serve.
To turn road hazards like this...
It felt like you were falling into the land of the lost, almost.
...back into roads, minus the hazard.
And the Public Works Department tells us it's still trying to hire on more private contractors to chip away at the backlog, which as of today still stands at more than 3,000 potholes needing to be filled. We're live in Northwest Houston. Jeremy Rogowski, KHOU 11 News.
Our Pothole Patrol got promises from the mayor and other city leaders to fix the roads, but tonight, a possible roadblock. And it's all about money. Our Jeremy Rogowski is watching to make sure they keep their word. He's live downtown where he's been asking some tough questions. Jeremy?
Well, Greg, last summer the city added an extra $10 million to its pothole budget, but now we're learning that it may take nearly triple that amount to clear up what the mayor calls a crisis of a backlog.
Mayor Parker's emergency pothole fix-it plan may have a rocky road ahead.
Where do we find the money? I don't have that answer.
Show me the money is the plea from several city council members.
We need to see what can and can't be done and shoot straight with the public.
I surely don't see the funding source to do it by the end of the year.
The end of the year is when Mayor Parker leaves office and the deadline she's given herself to clear the pothole backlog of some 3,000 jobs. But it may cost upwards of $29 million, according to the city email the I-team obtained. A daunting price tag with a big question mark.
How are you going to pay for it?
And one the mayor paused before addressing.
It's a matter of prioritizing projects.
Parker concedes that will likely mean more short-term, sometimes called Band-Aid pothole fixes, and fewer full street repaving jobs.
There's not any magic pothole fairy, there's no new money out there. It's reallocating resources.
But while that money shuffling gets sorted out,
I've damaged my car, I've damaged my tires.
Council members say they continue to get an earful from fed-up drivers.
I say we take the money out of the general fund. That's why we pay taxes, is to fix the streets and to protect our citizens. Let's get it done.
Well, details on exactly how the mayor plans to get it done may come in a couple of weeks when Public Works presents a plan to a committee at City Council that oversees city streets. Reporting live downtown, Jeremy Rogowski, KHOU 11 News.
KHOU 11 Pothole Patrol is tracking some major results this morning. The city of Houston is nearing a milestone when it comes to pothole repair, and Jeremy Rogowski has all the details live in Southwest Houston. Hey, Jeremy.
Well, good morning, folks. Since we've been asking you to send us your pothole complaints, like this one right back here, the Public Works Department has filled nearly 5,000 potholes citywide.
Our pothole patrol begins in the 3rd Ward, just off Beverly Gerard's block.
I think it's super because we need it.
Long time coming?
Yeah, it has been.
From smaller asphalt patches to full concrete replacement jobs like here on Yellowstone Boulevard,
I think they're awesome.
many Houston drivers are taking notice of the added manpower repairing city streets.
We're doing double the amount that we were doing this time last year.
Since we launched the Pothole Patrol February 1st, the city has filled nearly 5,000 larger than pizza-sized craters, despite some setbacks from Mother Nature. Last week, for instance, was mostly a washout.
I mean, when you see that forecast,
you cringe. When you're in my business, you cringe because you know it's going to impact the productivity.
But the bright side, the city says, is funding to pay for all the fixes is not drying up so far, paying overtime to city workers and signing on 19 private contractors to help tackle the job.
Are you the pothole guy?
I'm the pothole guy.
I am so proud of you for getting them to get something done on Alameda. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Well, there are still nearly 2,500 open work orders, so quite a ways to go. And the Public Works Department is hiring, so if you need a job, the city may have one for you. It's holding a job fair next Saturday, May the 2nd, from 9 a.m. to noon at 5500 McCarty. Bring your driver's license, your social security card, and a resume, and you may have a job with the city of Houston. The city tells me it has nearly 100 open positions to fill. Ron Trevino, there's still hope for you if this anchor thing doesn't work out. We're live in Southwest Houston. Jeremy Rogowski, KHOU 11 News.
We are pleased to report a major milestone for the KHOU 11 Pothole Patrol.
Getting results. In fact, since we launched our patrol 10 months ago, the city has filled nearly 10,000 large-sized potholes.
And as the I-Team's Jeremy Rogowski reports, the city's pothole backlog is no more.
At the corner of Chimney Rock and Glenmont, praise for the city's progress.
Muy bueno, muy bueno. Yeah, very good, very good.
Damon Edwards works at the gas station next to this tire eater.
People have been complaining. Why haven't nobody came out to do anything about the situation? But today y'all out here, and it's great to have you out here.
We've been out on the street since February, taking the case to City Hall, with all 16 council members taking the Pothole Challenge, and Mayor Parker making a pledge of her own.
I intend to have this fixed while I'm in office.
And the mayor's made good on her word. Total number of larger than pizza-sized holes filled, 9,688.
By me saying this is a crisis situation, I want you to mobilize and react, it shifted resources.
An extra $10 million in resources since the pothole emergency was declared.
We were able to respond.
Eric Dargins led the charge for the Department of Public Works.
With contractors, being able to respond with overtime, being able to respond with new equipment, being able to respond with all hands on deck.
The response now means no more pothole backlog and back on track to fill new potholes within 30 days.
I'm happy they out here, my friend.
Praise for progress.
Stay on them.
We will.
All right.
All right. Mayor Parker tells me she didn't want to leave a big mess for the next mayor, but whoever that is faces a challenge of keeping the pothole budget at its current level. Otherwise, Public Works says it could fall into another hole, another backlog. Near downtown, Jeremy Rogowski, KHOU 11 News.